I don't really know Josh too much, you know. So.
Which is the same thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, me and Shrimp, we saw eye to eye. I'm just kidding. DOD all day.
Yes.
Well, I met Shrimp through Bird. Actually, I met him once, and the first time I actually met him, he asked me if I wanted to. He wanted a prostitute.
On the team.
And I was like brand new to. I was like, what are you talking about? And then he got arrested like the next day.
That's a compliment.
I want you to be on my elite team.
Elite team. That's a compliment. That's how he compliments you know? You're welcome.
Your turn.
No, I don't want to. Do it. You got to.
There's nothing.
Fine, I'll go. I only met him a handful of times. And,
Katie and the turtle.
it kind of sucks because it would have been nice to actually get to know him like you guys. And, like this young gentleman said, you know, I feel for you guys, especially you, because I don't know him as Josh. I don't no longer know you as Kate. You guys were a pair. You guys were something else. I've known you on it. Come on, right? Whole lives and whatnot, and I've seen him come and go, but I've never seen you this content. I don't want to say happy, but content. You were something else. You had this weird energy around you where you were just happy. You could see it in your smile. You could see it was both of you. Same thing for with that gentleman. And, you know, I only met him a handful of times, but when I met him, I was like, hey, you know, he was happy. Not because of anything else, but because of you. And it was always talk of you. And sorry, I forgot.
Katie.
He'd always ask me advice. He's mad at me. What I do? Well, go talk to her, dude. Like, go talk to her. Tell her you messed up. You did mess up. You know, like he really did love you. He really did.
I never doubted her. She loved me. I just doubted like his decision-making skills, you know? Just doubted those, his driving skills.
He's worse than me.
Go pick him up.
Oh, no, Sky, not worse than me.
He was worse than me.
Stop it,
Katie.
the first time you drove my car, he got arrested.
I mean, I've been with. He's a worse driver than me. Anyways.
I don't even know how he's doing. Like, the first time I met him, I was picking up my friend, Marissa. I was picking up Marissa from Millamata. A long time ago. And then she was like, she was trying to kill me, but she was like so delusional. Remember how she used to get like all weird shit she would say? And so I was like, okay, so Shrimp's gonna come get you, and then the shark's gonna come, and the unicorn, and whatever, you know? Whatever, like, let's get in the car, you know? And then I see this little fucker coming, and then I was like, this dude? I was getting from this guy? So she was like on a sick one always, so I was just like, well, whatever. And I just left it alone, and then years passed. Like, well, we talked here and there, and then he went to prison, he got out. And he hits me up for Tilo, of all people. Because Tilo and him were locked up together. And Tilo was like, yo, her mom died. You know, go check on her. And I was on a sick one. And like, by then, so he gets out of prison. And the first thing he says is like, Katie, how are you? Tilo's worried about you. You need to write it down. I was like, are you? Like, you're on his team. That's cool. I'm not going to fuck with you. So then I just saw him as like one of the enemies, you know. Because Tilo's always been the enemy, you know. And like he was just like always just like persistently trying to come around. And then he found his way into my house because Sky was living with me. And so
I did that.
I was all like, oh, yeah, come over to my house. And that's yeah. And then And I was dating Austin still at this time, and then he calls me and he's just like, dude, I just came up on so much money. And I was like, that's cool, or whatever. And I was in the kitchen cooking at the time. He was like, what if I told you, like, I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to run away to Vegas and go get married? And I'm looking at Austin, like, while I'm on the phone. I was like, that's cool. Let's calm down with it. I'm with it. I'm cool. And he's like, for real? I was like, yeah, let's go to Vegas. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to take care of some things real quick, and then I'm gonna pick you up. And then he's like, well, I'm going to take care of some things. Pack your bag, and then I was like, well, go for it. You hit a lick, you know, you got money. You buy me clothes on the way, you know? And he's like, for real? I was like, yeah, let's go. He's like, okay. Then I fell asleep. And then I woke up like a day and a half later, and I don't even remember like that phone call. And then I was like, wait a minute. So I'm like going through my messages or going through my phone, and I was like, oh yeah, this nigga says we're supposed to be in Vegas. What the hell? So I'm calling him talking shit, like, you know, he's not answering. And this guy comes to tell me, she's like, oh, he went to jail like 2 nights ago. And I'm like, damn it, man. now I feel like a bitch because I just cussed him out on his voicemail and shit. You know, like, you son of a bitch, liar, fuck you. But then I ended up going to jail. And then when I got out, I hit up Peter Paul and asked Peter Paul if Shrimp was still locked up. He said, yeah. And I said, did you talk to him? I said, yeah. I told him to call me. So when he called me, I was like, okay. So I'm sorry I cussed you out in your voicemail and, you know, whatever. And then from there, like, we just talked like every day. He helped me through a lot of hard times. Because when he got out that time, I was still struggling to take down the bed my mom died in. You know what I mean? Like, I made it like a part of the decor in my house, you know? I refused to take it down. But, I had Ho-Ho and me were going to take it down, and it was going to take me like 3 days. It was piece by piece. I was like, okay, that's enough. Like, that's enough, you know? I can't do no more, you know? I just couldn't.
She wouldn't even go in mom's room, like, for how long?
Yeah, I didn't go in my mom's room or anything. But especially when I got to, like, wrapping up the mattress, like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't because I was like, oh, I'm suffocating her. She can't breathe underneath the plastic, you know? So I just kept tearing it off and then leaving it there. And then Ho-Ho came, and she was just like, we're going to do this, so. I was like, okay, and Josh called, he said, what are you doing? I was like, taking down my mom's bed. He was like, what? He said, no, you don't have to do that. I'll do it. I'm a handyman. And keep in mind, I don't know him that well, you know what I mean? But at that time, I was like, oh, for sure, they'll come over. So him and Ho-Ho, 4 hours later.
That's the first day I met him, too.
Yeah.
That night, yeah.
Yeah, because they started in the morning. Slimer came that night. And they had just finished taking it apart, wrapping it up piece by piece, and putting it in the shed. Yeah. That was like the start of him. Like, oh, every little thing he just found a way. Like, if I was struggling with something, he found a way to like weasel his way in to like be the hero, you know.
Especially with the mouse.
Oh, then there was a killer mouse. Killer? It was a killer mouse. It was, and I told Slimer, come set some traps. You know, trying to play my mouse guy. And
A man, he's a man.
They're made in time. Never. I ended up doing everything.
And I was like, you gotta get the ones that go slam like that. And I'm just like, no, you get the little pellets and then let them eat and go back to their home. He's all, no, slam, get the ones that slam like that on their neck. And I'm like, oh, no, who's gonna pick it up? He's like, I swear to God on everything, Katie. If you catch a mouse, I'll come and get it every time. So every time I called Slimer, dude, I was like, Slimer, go get this mouse. This mouse, he's stuck in a trap. You have to get it. I hear him. He starts like, first time he was on shrooms. First time he was on shrooms at a hotel on the east side or somewhere, and I was like, you lied to me. You lied to me right here. And the second time, I don't know, but I had Ho-Ho come. I sent Ho-Ho to the store to get my one thing of soy sauce. Right? I gave her my food stamp, like, go buy soy sauce. And no, she's like 3 hours later, I'm still waiting. I cooked the whole meal and everything. I'm just waiting on the soy sauce to go, you know what I mean? And so now I'm like sweeping up the kitchen, and I hear, like, I sweep like in between the stove, and I hear like some weird noise. I was like, okay, what was that? I don't know. And then I just turn and I'm like, wait a minute, it sounds like it's high pitched frequency. Like, I'm tripping now. I'm like, but no, it was a mouse that got his neck slammed in a mouse trap, and he's like screaming for help. So now I'm like tripping, and then Shrimp calls. He's all like, what you doing? And I was like, what you a handyman? Of course I'm a handyman. I was like, okay, what would you do if I said there was
Yeah, go to the restroom.
a killer beehive next to me? He's like, I'd go tear that shit down. I was like, okay. I was just those rabid dogs, right? He's all like, I'd shoot them with bees. Okay. I was like, what do I do if there was a mouse stuck in a trap? He was all like, I want to go back. And he was like, why? And I was like, is there a mouse stuck? And I was like, and then I was like freaking out because it scared. I hate mice, you know. And I was like, there's a mouse. And then I'm like hyper. I was like, okay, there's a mouse stuck in my kitchen, and he's screaming, and I can still hear him. I'm on the front porch. I can't even go to my house. And he's like, okay, don't worry. Okay, I'm on my way. And he was like far east side, like taking a Carissa's down. That's what hotel, you know what I mean? So he was like far east, and he legit like turned around and came all the way back just to pick up this mouse trap and throw it in the trash can. I was like, yeah, that was cute. Ever since then, he's like been my superhero. Wow. He's been my superhero. Because I don't want to be all shriveled up in the hotel and shit. But, yeah, he treats me that. Or embarrassing, you know what I mean? Like that Ed Sheeran song, like why it makes you cry. It's because at visitation, the annex, like, he was just like, because he had wrote me a letter asking something about Ed Sheeran song, and I was like, who the fuck is this Ed Sheeran? Like, I've never even heard his music. He was all like, everybody knows his music. And I was like, no, I don't know his music. And he was like, insisted so much. Weekend comes, visitation comes, and like the song starts off like with questions, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and I'm just like, what you ask me? You know, I'm thinking he's just
Ask me a question.
like, I think he's like talking to me, and I was like, when you get old, what are you talking about? What are you saying, dude? And no fucking clue, like no, and then he just gets up and starts singing, like I'm talking like he's like dancing, yeah, whole performance and shit, singing this fucking song. Like the people that are behind me, like they don't know what's going on. They're just like they just see him like dancing, you know? And I'm just like sitting there like I am so embarrassed right now. Please sit down, please sit down. You know what I mean? And then all the dudes are like on his side. They're like cheering him on and shit. And I was like, oh, I'm encouraging this bullshit. I was so embarrassed, but. Yeah, ever since then, like that's always been our song because of that. I never even heard that song before he sang it to me. That is so funny.
That is.
That was your guys' song together?
That's all I really want.
Yeah, all those dudes are all patting me on the back, but later on they were like,
That was a fruit.
"That's what it's made of."